couple?
Yeah, right now?
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Okay, great.
You got it all inside of you.
Yeah, should work fine. Can I have 10 seconds or 20 seconds?
Okay.
I didn't know, sorry.
All right.
That's fine. He just wants to. Yes, that was just. Yeah, no, that's fine. You can just go time and then
Feel it to be true. And when you dance,
Yeah, sure.
Is it okay to stand here or you'd rather sit down there?
where do you want me?
Standing here?
Here?
Is okay?
Okay, yeah.
I don't want to, make you stand up for too long. Okay, let me just check the cameras on. Yes, it is. What a return! Leylah Fernandez! Take a bounce! Match point, ladies and gentlemen. Championship Billie Jean King Cup point. Getting somehow. What attacking? What defense? Wow! Wow! Look at this! Boy,
I was probably a little bit bamboozled with with everything. Sorry.
And Billie Jean King Cup 2023, that's a wrap.
his game when the big occasions come up, so he has to be one of the top favorites. I truly believe we had a podcast ourselves yesterday, which I do with Patrick Kuhnen, called Mad Dog and Wingman, and we spoke about that obviously as well, the outlook. And I picked Carlos Alcaraz as the winner this year, just because he won just his first title on grass. I think he is extremely, in a way, extremely able to adapt to situations and to challenges, not just because he has the game, just because he's loving it. You know, he loves it to challenge himself. And I think he has learned a lot of players. When you look back at the French Open semifinals against Novak, his breakdown, his physical and mental breakdown, with a lot of players, you would say like, well, they would struggle with that for the next weeks and months to come. I think with Alcaraz, he has learned a huge lesson from that match, and it will never happen again to him. I think it made him even stronger and a better player. And that's why I really feel like he believes he can Wimbledon, and he wants to prove to the world that that was a one-off and it's not going to happen again. And I think if you would look at it and he would be honest, maybe he would say like, I want to play the final against Novak and I want to prove to the people that's not going to happen again and I'm able to win this. So my pick really is Carlos Alcaraz.
I know we're coming to the end now, Michael, but I have got one more point.
Ready. Ready. Play.
Good afternoon or morning, or depending on whereabouts in the world you are sort of greeting us from. Welcome to what is the quarterfinals, the quarterfinal stages of the WTA 1000 event in Doha. Of course, it's one of these events over in the Middle East. They have a Thursdays tend to be their quarterfinal day. Fridays tend to be their semi-final day, and finals day is on a Saturday. I think it's mainly for sort of cultural reasons around their weekend being usually Friday and Saturday, with Sunday being a normal working week. So hence the reason why we got sort of this quite big match that we've got in front of us here a little bit earlier in the week than what we would be expecting, because we have, of course, Elena Rybakina the number 3 seed, and somebody who has been on a bit of a 500 tear already this season, coming off the back of winning the Abu Dhabi title last week, and then also in the first game week of the season, winning Brisbane, where she of course beat the eventual Australian Open champion Arina Sabalenka in that final. As they are just kicking off already, with Rybakina being the one who is the service holds at this point here, and of course she is playing Leylah Fernandez, somebody who is having an excellent bit of form at the moment, has taken out 2 seeds already. In the competition, as Rybakina hits a double fault on to start things off. So this is a bit of a jovial, fun start there for Rybakina. As it now hits a strong bit there, so we're now up to 15-15. I've just sort of refreshed my stream just a bit there as I'm still working my way around the Sky Sports app, which I'm not having to do at the moment. It's got to make sure we get everything there. We've got a good battle taking place at the moment, showing the power of the Leylah Fernandez backhand against each other. Oh, she just clips the net, and an attempted slice there by Rybakina, and that just goes and hits the hits the net, just glides into the net a bit there. But like I said, just to sort of continue with the sort of build-up bits there. Rybakina has beaten Emilia Navarro, make sure I say her name right. Emma Navarro, make sure I actually pronounce that bit there. Emma Navarro in the last round. That was in a 3-set match where she did have, of course, Rybakina had match points in the second set, but was able to get it done in the third. Whilst also Rybakina beating the likes of Lin Yu, and then of course getting a bye in the first round. If you also look at Fernandez beat Qinwen Zheng, the Australian Open finalist, in the previous round, whilst also beating Paula Badosa after coming back from losing the first set 6-love as well. And then in the first round took out the 12th seed Ludmila Samsonova. So like I said, already beaten 2 seeds already, Fernandez. As it is, she has 2 break points already, starting off strong. So if you can put in the chat who you think is going to win. I know we've got a bit of almost a slightly big debate taking place there, because it goes to your sort of certainly providing some opinions bit there, and Terry as well. But yeah, you construct this match would be absolutely brilliant. As you know, got these two as Rybakina just hits hits a backhand out there. I think she's not entirely pleased with her racket, and she's going to go get it changed. Well, I was just having a look also before the match, and these two have never played each other, bizarrely enough. Thanks, Terry, for letting me know you think Rybakina's going to win. I kind of think Rybakina will win, maybe 2, maybe 3. But Fernandez, she's playing unbelievably well at the moment, so it'd be good either way, depending on what ends up sort of taking place. So who have said on the poll? So currently Fernandez is leading at the moment. We've only just got 3 votes on that. Like I said, if you make sure you vote in that poll, that'd be absolutely brilliant. As Fernandez gets the early break, it was just a long forehand long by Rybakina to give Fernandez that early 1-love lead. After 4 minutes on the clock, it's been an interesting tournament so far. To do with the WTA 1000 in Doha. There's been a fair few seeds that have been knocked out. At the moment, there is only 1 seed on each side of the draw, and that being Rybakina on the bottom half of the draw, and that being Swiatek on the top half of the draw. But it has meant that we've seen some really good runs from the likes of Naomi Osaka. Like we say, there was Pavlyuchenkova and Collins who had their match previously. Pavlyuchenkova came through that and will be the win and will be the opponent for the winner of this contest here. But of course, there's Azarenka as well, is going to be playing Swiatek. So plenty of good matches sort of popping up. And of course, Pliskova Osaka, which I think is going to be finishing off the night as well. So Fernandez is now into her first service game. Rybakina, if she wishes to get a quick break back, needs to be on it here. But Fernandez with a good backhand. Forehand by Rybakina. Slicing really well. And unfortunately, there was an approach shot by Rybakina. She went to go to the slice and it went long of the baseline. If you've got any questions that you want me to answer, any about either this match or things to do with tennis in general, please do put that into the comments section, and I will do my best to answer as we go. So just continuing on through here, the early stages, a very nice serve out wide there by Fernandez. Was able to get a good amount of slice on it as it curled outwards towards the stands from the advantage side. So at the moment, Fernandez 30-love up as it currently stands. As we can see, of course, the plethora of purple advertising for Qatar goes down across court. Into the net by Rybakina. Really poor return, actually. She didn't read that at all well. Because it was a serve out wide on the juice side by Fernandez, which is the hardest shot for her because she's a left-handed player. And Rybakina obviously bred it originally as going down the tee and had to suddenly try and switch rates, which meant she had a really poor return on the ball, which only then got to the net. Out wide again, backhand by Rybakina, forehand by Fernandez, backhand by Rybakina. Down the line by Fernandez. She is playing the more aggressive bits at the moment, and Fernandez hits the ball out. That has not worked well for her there. So that means it is 2-love. So a really good aggressive start for Fernandez at the moment. As we've got still not standing, just to go through what people are saying. So there should be 3 votes for all political polls. I haven't seen Leylah play for Yonks, says Terry. And of course I understand because of course we've got John over in Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, at the moment at the Buenos Aires 250 event, or the Argentinian Open, as it's known. And there's been a fair few upsets, some good matches already happening over there, which is excellent to see, especially for the South American fans. Leylah is on such a good wave of form right now. She certainly is, Sean. I'd agree with you on that one. Had some decent ish results around the Aussie period. Nothing spectacular, but certainly some good results, and is coming into this tournament playing really well at this stage. And I agree, Ghost, this match will be a huge test. So it's 15 all at the moment on my screen. Goes across court, backhand by Leylah, forehand by Rybakina, perfectly located into the back half of the court, and that takes Rybakina to 30-15. Takes her to 30-15. We can just see some of her fans, or at least some people that she's got in her box. The Kazakh flag flying strong. Forehand slightly returned by Rybakina, but into the net by Rybakina on that one there. Fernandez just about managed to get the forehand return onto that one, and Rybakina just adds the power and sticks it into the net at the moment. Oh, and of course, like I said, Mars is in Delray Beach as well, so we've got people all over the shop and all over the place, which is excellent. Up the line by Rybakina, perfectly located. Fernandez unable to get a proper return onto that, so Rybakina is at 40-30. They are, exactly. They're all over the shop. The shop being the world and the events in the world. And then we've got Shahiri. He's out in Dubai next week, or certainly the week after as well. Yeah, we're everywhere. We are literally everywhere. We've got loads of us dotted around the shop. Gathering all those sort of stories straight from the actual tournaments themselves, as Rybakina is able to hold her serve there to at least keep it to one break at the moment. The unfortunate thing is the only place that we're not at is here, and of course Rotterdam, which just if you haven't seen already of the results that have already started to fly through the Rotterdam draw. Sort of straightforward victory for Dimitrov against Vucinic. That was a 6-3, 7-5, which is a good result for Dimitrov. And he will now play Shevchenko, because Shevchenko managed to get a 3-set win, beating the 3rd seed Holger Rune 6-4, 1-6, and 6-3. And at the moment, they're just playing their third match of the day on centre court, which is Hercatch versus Talon Greek Sport, and they've just gone into a sort of first set tiebreak at this point there. And of course, there's also, if you're a doubles fan, which I hope some of you in the chat are, I'm certainly a doubles fan. Just to give us some sort of like Doha results at least currently stands. So Dollarhide and Kravich have won the first quarterfinal match, which was played on Grandstand 1, and they beat Buska and Niliscu in straight sets over there. That was 6-3, 7-6, with that being 7-5 in the tiebreaker. And just at the moment, on both Grandstand 1 and Grandstand 2, there's two doubles matches taking place there. So Skjur and Stefani are looking as though they're going to take the first set against Shui and Mertens. And on Grandstand 2, you've got Borskova and Vondrusova versus Eriki and Guao. And they're currently one set apiece at the moment. So they're going to go into a 10-point match tiebreaker. For anyone who's doubles inclined, as Rybakina now is able to win the first point on the Fernandez serve. So she is love 15 up at the moment. So just going back to the match here, forehand by Fernandez. Oh, lovely cross-court forehand by Fernandez there. Got a good amount of curve there, landed very deep. I say very deep, very close to the net, but it was had enough curve on it for it to just fly away from Rybakina. Okay, cross court by Fernandez. I reckon I just about get to return to it, but it was slightly long, and that means that Fernandez is now 30-15 or up. Good serve there by Fernandez. A really strong start at the moment for Leylah. Looking really in the zone. Sean, I'll get to your comment about doubles in a minute, but I'll stick away from that bit there. Cross court by Fernandez, backhand by Rybakina, and it just lands on the line. Fernandez came to the net. It could have been an awkward one. The ball dropped low beyond the net on her side. She was just to get enough lift and for it to land in on the forehand winner. So 40-15 to Leylah. Getting the legs down low, pretty good to see the athleticism and able to get that ball over. Goes up the line, backhand by Fernandez. Rybakina, and then it was a backhand by Fernandez, but it was into the net because the ball which came along was very low from Rybakina. It was not that much room to be able to get some lift from it, and Leylah just wasn't able to add that lift to that ball. But Fernandez still has game point. This is the second game point to get it to 3-1. Up the line, forehand by Rybakina, forehand by Fernandez, backhand by Rybakina into the net. And that means that Leylah is now halfway to the set one, as you could probably say. She's got 3 games in the bag there. If you could probably tell as well, I think I said that these two have never played before, so they're going to get a head-to-head notched on the board after the match today. Which is always very interesting when you read sort of stats and whatnot, and you don't get anything pop up. Cross court by Leylah, backhand by Rybakina into the net, and that makes it love 15 to Fernandez. At the moment, Rybakina is certainly under the cosh at this stage. Okay, Rybakina goes cross court, backhand by Fernandez, but the original serve was out, so it's going to be a second serve. Goes in the middle, forehand by Fernandez, backhand by Leylah, and it's long by Leylah, not Leylah, by Elena. Oh, the names sound too familiar. So it was long by Rybakina, now meaning it is love 30. So half a chance here for Fernandez to potentially get a second break in this set. It goes down the tee, just wide of the tee. So his second serve. So really giving the opportunities to the Canadian at this stage. Goes up across the line. Oh, a slice backhand. Forehand by Rybakina. Forehand by Leylah. Down the line by Rybakina. Up the top by Fernandez. Good lob. Down the tee. Oh, and just an attempted sliced backhand by Fernandez. Didn't work out there, but she did really well there to keep the defensive distance from Rybakina. So still 15-30 at the moment to Fernandez. Goes down the tee, backhand by Leylah, but the original first serve was long. Okay, Rybakina goes down the tee. Backhand by Leylah. Backhand by Fernandez. Forehand by Leylah. Forehand by Fernandez. Backhand by Leylah. Forehand by Fernandez. Really good. And in those sorts of contests, if you were Fernandez, you don't want to be getting yourself too much involved in those sort of baseline to baseline exchanges because the power of Rybakina was just too much for Fernandez, who ends up hitting the backhand wildly out of the island. You could certainly say. But so 30 all at the moment. So that's Rybakina squashed that challenge yet. Goes down the tee. Forehand by Leylah. Forehand by Fernandez. Forehand by Leylah. Sliced by Fernandez into the net. And we have another break point. So Leylah doing really well at the moment at being able just to apply the pressure to Fernandez to get those unforced errors, to get those mistakes out of the Rybakina serve. She's been given another opportunity to really stake her authority in this first set. Let's see how this ends up going. Goes cross court, backhand by Fernandez. It is out. Okay, so as soon as the break point comes, as soon as the break point goes, on to Juice here, but back to Juice. And it's good to see we're getting a good debate in the chat about doubles. It's always great to see on that regard there. So we're to the Juice. Cross court, sliced back by Leylah, but it was just clipped the net. So we go to the first serve again. Okay, goes down the tee. An attempted forehand by Leylah, but wasn't able to get anything to it as it was just such a powerful serve, the sort of serve that Rybakina can provide. And it is to advantage to the Kazakh. This is turning out to be quite an intriguing service game here. Could there be a potential momentum shift on whoever ends up winning this? Forehand cross court. A lob by Rybakina just pushes Fernandez back to the baseline. Forehand by Rybakina. Backhand by Leylah. Forehand by Rybakina. Backhand up the line by Leylah. Back cross court by Fernandez. Cross court by Leylah into the net, and it is a Juice again. That was more of a sign of a sort of point that Fernandez would be able to capitalize on it. It is not baseline to baseline bashing. It is moving for Rybakina around the court, getting those mistakes out of her racket. Like we said, but back to Juice. This is certainly could be quite an intriguing and interesting game here. So Leylah tries to go down the tee, hits the net, second serve. Fernandez here looking to get a second breakpoint opportunity on this service game, or in this service game. Goes cross court, backhand by Leylah, cross court. Fernandez just about reaches to it, but it is long. Oh, no, it wasn't long by Leylah. Oh, drop shot by Leylah. She comes to the net. Forehand, cross court by Leylah, and that is another break point chance, using every single shot in her arsenal there, really. Sliced backhands, bringing herself to the net, and then being able to volley a brilliant backhand cross court away from Rybakina, and to give herself another break point. Good morning, Ashley. It's good to see you in the chat. Okay, like we say, break point chance here. This is quite important as a plastic bag is blowing around in the stadium. I don't know if that was somebody's racket and it's into a corporate box. Okay, so Rybakina goes cross court. Forehand by Leylah. Just about clips the line, but it was just out. So another breakpoint opportunity goes, unfortunately, for the Canadian. That's on both occasions that she's had breakpoint chances, and there's just been such a strong Rybakina serve that it's been very hard for Elena to do anything with it to keep the ball live and in play. So Rybakina goes down the tee, hits the net, second serve. So it goes forehand up the line by Rybakina. Oh, cross down line. Fernandez goes for the lob. Oh, that one's just long. So that's the third lob in this service game. First two worked. Last one didn't, unfortunately, on that bit there. But a really strong attacking return expected on that Rybakina second serve. That was good, certainly decent to see. Okay, down the line, backhand by Leylah. Okay, it goes cross court, forehand up the line by Leylah. Oh, but it was a double fault, so we are back to juice. This is turning a bit into the never-ending service game. Just a shot of her team there, just looking slightly amused. Okay, goes tries to go cross court, or at least do a body serve choke up. Doesn't work by Rybakina. So it is a second serve here. Goes cross court, backhand by Leylah, cross court. Leylah into the net. Sorry, yeah, Elena into the net. So that then makes it advantage to the Canadian. Her third break point chance. This is really turning out to be a real tussle between both women at the moment. Fernandez is determined to get this double break. Rybakina is determined to keep it to only one break, keep herself in the set. Oh, this is an opportunity as Rybakina hits the net on the first serve. Last two breakpoint chances. The first serve wins by Rybakina. Backhand by Leylah up the line. Fernandez tries to go down the tee, and it is long. It is well long, actually. It nearly hit the backboard. That now means Leylah Fernandez has the double break already. That was a real tussle there, a real sign of endurance, determination, all those sort of adjectives that you would want to use to describe that, to get that over the line. So we are at 4-1 for Leylah. Wow, very good start there. Do let me know in the chat what you make of all that as I get a Rob Beckett TV ad now popping up on my screen. On that bit there. I can see things have certainly moved on. Ghost would want to get a Travis Kelce type fell on the tour. Okay, I know who Travis Kelce is because of the Super Bowl thing. I mean, I watched a bit of it. I haven't got foggiest what American football is all about, really. How you end up. It just looks like a weird version of rugby in which you have a lot more breaks than I would ever expect you would have. But that's me. Don't shoot me if you're an American lover of the Kansas City Chiefs or the San Francisco 49ers or the Buffalo Bills or whoever is your or the New England Patriots or whoever your American football team would be on that bit there. But sticking to the sport, we all know that we've got as our common denominator. I mean, it's like football. We could talk about proper football, not American football. One that actually where you kick a ball. But hey, just I won't go there just yet on that bit there. Or darts, which I've somehow now got into. That's an interesting one. Just very overweight men just throwing a dart. It's brilliant. It's actually really, really engaging. So Leylah here though serving to make it 5-1, in this first set. So ball up in the air, goes at the line. Forehand into the net, though. It was a good return by Rybakina. I must admit, the first serve didn't really have much on it. It would look like an attempt to either go out wide or a body serve. I don't really know, given where it got located, which position they wanted to go for. But Rybakina, good return on that. Leylah unable to hit the ball into the net. Good to know you like rugby, Ghost. It's a very good sport, if not very bruising. Well, attempt to go cross court by Leylah. No luck. Hits the net. Second serve. This is turning to a bit of an opportunity or an opening up here for Rybakina. Oh, forehand down the tee, and that was just looked like it was long there, and it was slightly long. So she went out wide, got the ball back, went for a forehand down the line winner, but then just provided too much angle on it, and it just landed out when it eventually landed. So it is looking tight at the moment. Goes down the tee, backhand by Leylah into the tram lines, and that is the first point for. It's a nice point for first point for Fernandez on this service game. She would very much not want to give Rybakina any inkling of an ability to come back in this one here. So Rybakina, I think it's Fernandez. So Fernandez goes cross court, backhand by Leylah, backhand by Fernandez. Leylah comes to the net, goes up the line, cross court by Fernandez. Oh, just a brilliant backhand volley, took all the pace off, and it's just too far away for Fernandez to be able to get to. That is now 15-40. So 2 break pack opportunities there, or break point chances for Rybakina to get back into this. Rybakina goes down the tee, backhand by Leylah, backhand by Rybakina, backhand by Leylah there, and it's out. So a very quick break there, like you say, Terry says now 1 break back. Yeah, it's was 2, it's now back down to 1. Yeah, that wasn't the best there from Fernandez on that point there. Thinking she could do better. Certainly thinking that she could do better on that bit there. Yeah, Sean, Runa has lost in thingy. His sort of shakiest start to the year is continuing. Rybakina, easy first serve, 15 love. Goes cross court with an attempted first serve, no luck. Second serve. Rybakina goes at the line. Forehand by Fernandez. Forehand by Rybakina. Forehand by Fernandez down the line. Brilliantly located down the line there by Fernandez. 15 all. 15 all. You want to go see either a Newcastle or Sunderland game, followed by going to see the All Blacks play rugby. That's certainly an interesting bucket list. Cross court by Fernandez, backhand by Leylah, forehand by Fernandez, by Leylah. I keep getting it. Name's a bit mixed up there. So it is 30-15 to Rybakina. Keep wanting to say Lena and Elena, and I keep shortening Elena to Lena, so that then makes it sound like I'm talking about Leylah. Attempted to go up the line there by Rybakina, or Rybak. Let's go Rybak and Fernand. That'd be easier for me. So Rybak goes cross court. Leylah down there. Oh, drop shot by Leylah. Nice one there. Into the tram lines from Rybak. Makes it 30 all. So this isn't going all her own way at the moment. This certainly isn't going all her way at the moment. Few bounces of the ball there by back. Ashley asking, does Collins play today too? Unfortunately, Collins lost in the match previously, Ashley, to Pavlyuchenkova. Backhand by Rybak, forehand by Leylah. Backhand by Leylah again. Backhand cross court. Forehand cross court by Fernandez. Backhand by Leylah. Oh, this is going well. Backhand by Fernandez. Forehand by Rybak. Forehand by Rybak again. Backhand by Leylah. Cross court there by Rybakina. Yes, that is going really well. Really be helpful if I could actually say the names correctly. Okay, so 40-32, Rybakina. Goes up the line. Forehand by Fernandez. Backhand by Rybakina. Onto the line, perfectly located. And it is now 4-3. The lead is now 4-3 for Fernandez. So really going... Really... could have come behind her game, really trying to sort of lig it in there. I get a weird notification pop through my phone that says that Jose Mourinho could be in line for the England job. See some weird stuff pop through bits there. We've got more comments flying through. Just to keep the updates from around the ground. Hurkacz just took in the first set against Talon Grigspor. That was at 7-6, 7-5 in the first set, and it's two games all at the moment in the second. Talon, of course, being the last Dutch player in the competition. Really looking to fly the home flag as highly as he can. Oh, Ronaldinho is in the stands watching this. Being a peace sign, as you can see, he is on the TV. Of course, I think he's got a big role with Paris Saint-Germain, which is one of his original clubs. And of course, Paris Saint-Germain are owned by the Qatari billionaires. So Fernandez goes up the line, backhand by Rybakina, and that is long. So that is 15-love to Fernandez. Fernandez goes up the tee, no luck there, just goes long of the service box. See, the wind is starting to blow a fair bit. Fernandez goes, oh, double fault there by Fernandez. Just weakly hits the net on that point there. So we are up to 15 all at the moment. And Sean is just noting the nice backhand from Fernandez, the original point. Goes at the tee, backhand by Leylah, forehand by Fernandez, backhand by Rybakina. Up the line attempt there by Fernandez, and it doesn't work out. It goes long. It is good when Leylah Fernandez can take the ball early. But at the moment, Rybakina is holding a siege against the Fernandez serve. And she's going to see, and she's having now a second serve. This is really potentially going into a bit of a danger zone. Goes cross court, backhand by Fernandez, backhand by Leylah, backhand by Rybakina, forehand by Fernandez, forehand by Rybakina, but that is long. That is a shanked forehand there. So that is now 30 all. So Fernandez doing well there, just to keep the balls moving, just to keep the rally going. Cross court by Fernandez, just slightly long. Goes to saying Runa is definitely on the decline. Gil Gross spoke to his mama, and they made claim coaching mix-up is actually unusual. Holger apparently has a coach for many years, not too long ago. As Rybakina has a break point, I will come to that point, Ghost, in just a bit about what we think potentially of Runa at the moment. But we are at a break point chance here. This to get back to 4-all. Goes cross court by Fernandez, backhand by Rybakina, up the line by Fernandez, up the line by Rybakina. Attempted. Oh, that worked. So it's back to juice. It was about to turn into a baseline to baseline exchange, which wouldn't have been good for Leylah. She was able, for Leylah Fernandez, she was able to get a backhand with a bit of angle that just spooked Rybakina, who was unable to get any proper contact on that point there. So we are to juice. Up the tee, just goes wide of the service box. So going up the hits the net. So Rybakina has another breakpoint chance gifted to her by Fernandez. There we go. Yeah, Lars Christensen was Holger Runa's long-time sort of childhood coach. I think he's a part of the team anymore. I've not seen him, at least in the box. So Rybakina onto another breakpoint chance. Leylah goes at the line. Forehand by Fernandez. Forehand by Rybakina. Backhand by Rybakina. Forehand by Fernandez. Backhand by Rybakina. Forehand by Fernandez. Forehand by Rybakina. Backhand by Fernandez. Long. And that's it. We are back to juice. So we are back to 4 games apiece. So Leylah Fernandez was 4-1 up with a double break. But the last 3 games has been break, hold, break, and we're now back to 4-all. So this set could be anyone's. Literally could be anyone's. So just to sort of go to the comments that's made in the chat. So about Runa, or at least certainly me wanting to get putting my oar in effectively. Runa's a strange one. He still certainly seems to be a player where there are some weeks where he will be able to light it up and really, be one of the best players in the world. And then there are some weeks in which he can be mediocre and also just play unbelievably terribly. Kind of what you'd end up expecting for, let's say, a 20-year-old, 21-year-old player, for them not necessarily to have that consistency built into their game at this stage. But it is worrying that when you're playing Andrei Shevchenko, and I know Shevchenko is a good player, like, you don't get automatic entry into a ATP 500 event if you are not a good player. But you shouldn't be losing to players like that. And I also think a big issue for Runa is his scheduling. You have to discuss his scheduling as being one of the, certainly an issue. I mean, if you look at, this season and go, certainly going up until March, for example. So he played Brisbane, he got all the way to the final. Yes, he took the week off before the Australian Open, but then he played the Oz Open, and as soon as the Oz Open, he got knocked out early, but as soon as he could, the first week after the Oz Open, he was in Montpellier. He then went and did that UTS event in Oslo. Then he's done this event in Rotterdam. He's down for Los Cabos next week. He's then also down for Acapulco, then Indian Wells, then Miami. We break off. Then we're going to be into Monte Carlo. He'll then want to go and defend his title in Munich, and I think he's already been confirmed for Munich, if I'm not mistaken. Then it'll be Madrid. Then it'll be Rome. Then there could be a week off. Then it's the French Open. You're literally factoring in potentially 2 weeks of breaks in a 3-month period. That is ridiculously stacked if you are looking to be a top 10 player winning all the big events. You cannot be playing as much as that. I mean, you look at his contemporaries. Look at his contemporaries around him. Tsitsipas, for example, played the United Cup, week off, Australian Open, and he's had 3 weeks off, and he's going to be playing next week in Los Cabos. And then he's got some built-in breaks that take throughout the point there. But he's got a good number of weeks already built in at that stage. And then you got like I said, Hubie. He took a week off. He's playing a couple of weeks at the moment. I don't think he's down for a tournament next week. But then he's down for Dubai, I think, is the last week as well. He's putting in some time there. Ghost, you're saying, I think Rune should focus on getting his health right first, then try and hit on with clay. He comes close to winning Masters 1000s on that surface. I do tend to agree. One of the issues he had at Montpellier was that his wrist or his arm let him down because he's played too much tennis. He is playing too much tennis. I mean, I'm the one that you probably would see if you follow me on my X account, as well as make sure that you're not following Talking Tennis on your X account on YouTube, Instagram, the whole job lot. Make sure you follow all the Talking Tennis accounts there if you aren't already. But if you follow my thing, I do make note of players that I think aren't playing enough, and at the moment, Rune is on the opposite end of that. He is playing way too much. He should not be playing next week. He should take next week off, then go to Acapulco and play that if he so wishes. But you need to make sure if you are wanting to be a top 10 player, you cannot be putting yourself down for every 500 and 250 that's going every single week, because you are going to really burn yourself out by the end of it. And as we noticed last season, he ended up causing huge problems for his back because of the amount of games, because of the amount of tournaments he was entering and the amount of matches he was looking to play. So by the end of Wimbledon, he was completely gone when it came to his back, and could barely get a win because of how badly it was going. So I think if he can slower down the amount of tournaments he's playing, will help him moving forward. I know this is meant to be about Leylah and thingy, but I know it just popped up as a point there. Saying things maybe too hard. I think you do think he plays too hard as well. Rune did that in 22 and got to the top 30 from nowhere. I mean, that's in a way, yes, Terry, but also he was. If you are, he in 2022, there was a lot of weeks where he was going out first round, and at the moment he does tend to go a little bit further, probably to the Fridays minimum of each tournament, and that will start taking out of you if you're trying to do the same sort of scheduling. But that's just my sort of viewpoint there. I think his scheduling is the main issue that's causing him to have these oscillations. As Fernandez is 30-15 up on the serve at the moment. Rybakina is 5-4 up, so it's looking interesting at this point here. Will this be a third break in a row? So Fernandez goes down the line, forehand into the net though by Rybakina, so that makes it 40-15. This may actually be one of the easiest holds that Rybakina's had in a while. Probably end up being so. So Fernandez goes cross court, no luck. Second serve. On the tee, backhand line by Rybakina, forehand by Fernandez. Up the line by Rybakina, lovely backhand up the line by Rybakina. Makes it 40-30, 40-30. I think it's just remember, I know people mentioning about Moratoglu. Is he a good coach? That's the question. Has he actually has he taken somebody to the higher echelons of the game, or has he just got himself involved with already successful players? That's the big question. I mean, you know, the main thing was, of course, he'll hark on about his time with Serena Williams, but Serena Williams was already a multiple Grand Slam champion when he joined their team. I mean, how much data, as we're now to choose here, another brilliant backhand from Rybakina. You know, how much can we trust that is showing some signs of progression? And that's similar. You know, you had Simona Halep. You know, okay, she went from having a bit of an issue being able to sort of win big tournaments to winning Canada. But similarly, she was a multiple-time Grand Slam champion. How much can you really add to that sort of team? And realistically, he came on very late into the Runa cycle, and you know, was he really able to make an impact into why he was able to win Paris? That's another big question. Really good backhands and forehands here. Cross court by Rybakina, by Fernandez. Up the line by Rybakina. Fernandez just about gets to it. Rybakina lets it land. Goes cross court, or goes like inside in with a cross court winner at the net. And it is advantage Rybakina, which brings up set point. Are we going to see 5 wins in a row? Oh, sorry, 5 wins in a row. So 5 games in a row. Set point. Elena Rybakina. Let's follow this as we go along. It goes cross court. Backhand by Leylah. Oh, keep saying Leylah. Rybakina. But that was but Rybakina hit a backhand long, so set point gone. Backhand by Leylah, forehand by Fernandez, forehand by Leylah, just hits long. Forehand by Fernandez, down the line, up the line. And forehand up the line by lovely by Rybakina. Forehand up the line winner. That is pretty neat. So back to Juice. Okay, so Fernandez goes cross court, just slightly wide. So it is second serve. Goes down the tee, backhand, cross court, failed attempt by Rybakina there. So advantage Fernandez. Be interesting. Who do you think this set needs to be won by more, Fernandez or Rybakina? Who is it more important to if they win this set? Fernandez hits a backhand long. The mistakes are flying off the racket at the moment. So, Juice here. Down the tee. Backhand by Leylah. Forehand by... Oh, jeez. You just think you're getting into a rally, and then Rybakina just hits a forehand wildly long. Ghosty is saying first set is more important for Leylah. I'd say Rybakina got ice in her veins. Yeah, I probably would agree. If Fernandez lost his first set, I think it could be a little bit more crushing for her than if Rybakina lost it. As we're to juice again, as that was a brilliant return there by Rybakina. And Fernandez, all she can do is hit the forehand into the net. So, juice again. Leylah goes, tries to go across the court. No luck. Hits the net. Second serve. Goes down the line. Backhand up the backhand. Brilliance from Rybakina. Clips the line to give her a second match point. Second match point here. Will she be able to take it? She didn't last time. Will Fernandez be able to hit some sort of brilliant shot? Let's see what happens here. Let's go across court. Backhand across court by Rybakina. Cross court by Rybakina again. Really both stretching to bowl balls here. Bit of restraint by Rybakina at the moment. Well, Leylah goes for a big one. So does Rybakina. Backhand by Leylah. Cross court by Fernandez. Oh, but Fernandez into the tram lines. And that is the first set to Elena Rybakina. Able to break Fernandez for the third time in a row. So, although she was 4-1 up at the start, going into around about 25 minutes into this contest, Rybakina is able to wield off 5 games in a row, break, hold, break, hold, break, and takes the first set, and will be serving first in the second set as well. James is keen. I'm just trying to build up pump and ceremony and all those words as well. Wow. Okay. So, what will happen? Put in the chat. What do you think is going to happen next? Do you think that Leylah is going to be able to refine her form, or do you think it will be a case of actually Rybakina now is just going to hit the accelerator, going to slit it into 5th, 6th gear, and run away with it? What do you think is going to happen? Anything could, of course, happening. It's going deep in Rotterdam. It is currently 5-4 to Grigspor, but they're on serve, and her catch is 30-15 up on his own serve. And Scoff and Stefani beat Shui and Mertens, just to give you a score update there. And Borskova and Vondrusova beat Ariki and Guao to enter the semi-finals as well. So this last quarter-final has entered the court. That is Karolina and Zhu, and they are playing Alexandrova and Kromakecheva. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I don't know if I have. I probably haven't, but we'll gloss over that one there. Ghost, you are saying Leylah is going 6-love in the second and third. At one point, she'll look into the camera and say, "Terry, you need Daniel Collins alone." No, I will be at peace. Okay, so Ghost and Terry are still lattered to each other to do with Collins. She'll do 6-1. To be honest, I'm more with you, Terry. I think it could be looking for a bit more a little bit more of a drubbing of a next set. I don't wish it, but I think it could happen, given that was be a bit crushing for the ladies to recover from. Rybakina just seems to be lasered in a little bit. I mean, she is on a roll. She is a rocking and a rolling. Oh, and reports are popping up online that Daniel Medvedev is going to be withdrawing from Doha. That's not good news. Yeah, Jose Morgado has just reported it. Defending champion Daniel Medvedev will draw from Doha next week. Very likely he'll lose to his world #3 to Sinner. That can actually happen this week already if Jannik wins in Rotterdam. Okay, so that's big news to sort of bring here. Daniel Medvedev is not only is I thought you were going to say Jose Mourinho was reported it. Well, now knowing how I pronounce the words, I could probably end up accidentally saying that. Ashley asking, hope Medi is okay. I think he's okay. I think he just probably is. He's played over 24 hours, and I think his foot's buggered and whatnot. I mean, I know he'll want to get at least one competition in before going to Indian Wells. And so I suspect he'll prioritise trying to get to Dubai the week after. But yeah, Doha. He's gone from Doha. Well, that is the big breaking news on Talking Tennis is that Daniel Medvedev looks like he is withdrawing from Doha. Right, Rybakina is starting off, serving here, and gets the first point without any sweat at that point there. Just having a look then at the Doha draw. So once Medvedev gets taken off, it'll mean that Rublev and Kachanov will be the top 2 seeds. That will be a bit of a repeat of Hong Kong. And then it'll be Uber and Bublik as the 3rd and 4th. And then the 5th to 8th seeds will be Vakina, Struff, Musetti, and Grigspor. Other things in the chat saying here, Osaka has withdrawn from Dubai. Yes, she has withdrawn from Dubai, Terry. Given the fact her big exploits here in Doha, it makes sense just to prioritise for her sake, just this one tournament, which is being this one. As Leylah is Elena Rybakina is 30-15 up on her serve at the moment. I can see Fernandez is doing her best to keep in it. Keeping fresh for Indian Wells. Yep, Terry, I think that's the main aim for thingy there. Medvedev's then Ghost saying Medi hates Indian Wells. He's probably going into a cave in Tibet to center himself before the 5th slam. Did Grigspor win his match against Ubi? Are they playing at the moment still? It is currently 5-5 in the second. It looks like Grigspor's about to make it 6-5 though, so it is still on serve going deep there. 2 big hitters, so you'd imagine a lot of tiebreakers. There's been a fair number of tiebreakers in. Oh, that was a poor backhand by Rybakina. Just slams it into the net when it should have been an easy cross-court winner. There is love on at the moment. It's still going on. Yes, it is still going on. It can still go on even further. Mark on a cross court, backhand by Fernandez, up the line by Rybakina, down the time by Fernandez. Brilliant forehand down the line by Fernandez there. So great point chance here for Fernandez. Rybakina's just taking a foot off the gas just a bit here. Just letting Fernandez into this service game. But the last thing you want to do after being able to win a tight first set is to let your opponent back in on the second. Line. No luck. Second serve. then again, backhand by Fernandez, line by Rybakina, backhand by Fernandez, cross court by Rybakina, and is able to save that save that break point. So love 40 all or juice. Ghosty saying, I think this is the first time that Leylah and Rybakina have played. Yes, this is the first time they've ever played. So this is going to finally chalk up a head-to-head record between these two. So Rybakina into the air, goes down the line, forehand by Fernandez, backhand by Fernandez, which is long. So that is advantage Rybakina. So Fernandez goes cross court, just clips the net. So it is a first serve again. Backhand by Leylah, forehand by Fernandez, backhand by Rybakina, cross court by Fernandez. Leylah comes to the net. Oh, attempt to go cross court, no luck. Oh, tips it over, just gets it in. A scooped up volley there, or half volley by Rybakina at the net, just able to see off an impressive attack by Fernandez. Makes it 1-love to Rybakina. So we are at, as I said, just, things pointed up on the screen there. Let's keep an update on bits as they go along. Ooh, phone's frozen. That's good. Going to be straight sets from John as saying, going to be straight sets. Poor Leylah, what was her lead for? One with a double break. So 6 games in a row. Yeah, it is 6 games in a row. Not able to get anywhere. But was able to win the first point on the service game, which is be pretty handy for her. So Leylah into the air, goes cross court, backhand by Rybakina. So that is 30-love to Fernandez because that was out there. You say that, Terry, about easy wins, but a lot of seeds and a lot of big players have gone out at the moment in Buenos Aires. There's been some tough matches on the on the clay there, so you never know. But yeah, I think he's playing Ugo Cabelli, if I remember correctly. I think that's right, Ugo Cabelli. I'll go Ugo Cabelli. I'm probably going to be wrong. I know that Cam Norrie's playing Federico Coria. Let me just get at the Buenos Aires lineup. Yeah, I was correct. It was Camilio Ugo Cabrelli. So Alcaraz is playing. And then, because you got starting off with Vavasori versus Jur, and then it's followed by Coria versus Norrie, and then not before. And in the night session, not before 9:30 my time, 6:30 time in Argentina, Alcaraz versus Ugo Cabelli, and then it's Baez versus Dardelli. The Dardelli, of course, the wonder winner of Cordoba, the qualifier. And the rot has been stopped. Fernandez is able to hold her service game to make it 1-game-all. I'm just going to keep an eye on that tiebreaker between Grigspor and her catch. Just on the sound. Because it's currently 2-1 to Grigspor at this point in this tiebreaker at the moment. Make that 3-1. So currently serving at the moment. Rybakina is 15 love on her shot. Now make that 30 love, as it was a forehand error unforced error by Fernandez, trying to go up the line of the winner, but just nowhere near the tram line, the right to tram line. Go saying Bias just played Darderi and Cordoba, grudge match maybe. Certainly could be. Is it going to be the same result, or is it going to be a quick turnaround in fortunes? And that makes it 4-1 to Grigspor. 2 good service holds there by the guy from the Netherlands. At the line by Fernandez, that goes wide. So that makes it 40 love to Rybakina. Looks like it's going to be an easy service hold for the Kazakh at the moment. Terry asking Carbelli, do we know anything about him? Plays a lot of challenges on the South American play. I think he's won a few challenger titles. I'm sure if anyone else has a better idea of who Carbelli is, do put it in the chat and let us know a little bit about him. As Grigspor makes it 5-1. So it looks like Grigspor is really running away with the second set tiebreaker. It looks like it may be going to a third in the Netherlands. You see the entirety of Talon's team sort of like leaned over the side of their sitting area, sort of onto the board. They really want to make sure they can shout encouragement as much as they can. As I can say, Rybakina 2-1 up at the moment in the first set. So they're both on serve at this point. So we got a advert for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning again on the on my TV screen. Anyone's watched it? Let me know. Is it good? Is it bad? Made that 5. I don't know. And at the moment, Fernandez has done well to be able to hold a service game here. She hasn't capitulated, which is could sometimes be the case if you lose a set the way that she did. Matt. Grigspor 6-2, so has 6 points. As Rybakina got the first point in the Leylah service game. Into the net there by Fernandez. Not good. It was a good backhand return by Rybakina, very shallow in the court, forced Fernandez to really run forward to it and unable to scoop it over the net. As Hurkacz gets back one of the mini breaks, it's 6-3 at the moment to Greek Sport. Made that 6-4. Fernandez comes to the net, goes cross court. Oh, lob there by Rybakina. Fernandez goes down, smashes it down though to make it 15-30. And it is now 6-5 to Greek Sport. So, Hurkacz coming back, forcing Greek Sport to ask the question, to serve it out question. And it goes down to T. No luck. That is just slightly long there. God, it's all happening at the moment. Greek Sport goes down to T and sells the dummy to Hurkacz and wins the second set. So they are going the distance in the Netherlands. They're going into a third set. See a little bit there. Oh, poor forehand by Rybakina. She had a good second serve attempt to try and give herself 2 break points and unable to take it. Bourne likes the ball. Ghosty likes the Bourne series because it challenges the deep state. Oh, okay. I don't know if that's going to be you mean serious there, Ghosty, but we'll rock on with that one. But you prefer that over Mission Impossible and Bond? Okay. Point. Backhand by Rybakina, forehand by Fernandez, backhand by Rybakina. Oh, drop shot into the net though by Fernandez. Tries to cut the point short there and just fails to get it over the net. So it is a break point chance for Elena Rybakina to go 3-1 up. Goes cross court, backhand by Rybakina, forehand by Leylah, forehand by Rybakina, backhand by Leylah. Oh, and it was in. It was perfectly placed. That then makes it juice there. So just juiced at the moment. Attempt to go cross court. No luck there by Fernandez. So that is going to a second serve. Oh, double fault by Fernandez. Attempts to go down the tee, goes long of the service box, and that opens up a break point chance for Elena Rybakina, a second one in this service game. Backhand line by Rybakina, down the tee by Fernandez, and it just clips the line on the way down. So that is back to juice. Then to go across court again, no luck. So that is a second serve. Goes down the tee, backhand up the line by Rybakina. Oh, brilliantly located backhand by Fernandez. Ashley really wants Leylah to hold her serve here. Fernandez goes cross court, backhand up the attempt there by Rybakina. No luck on that placement. So that is a holder serve there for Leylah Fernandez. That is now 2 games apiece. So Rybakina now with the serve. Good one there. Matthew, you're saying, wonder who Sakari will go with next. Feels like a change that should have happened 2 years ago. Yeah, because of course the announcement this morning was that him and her and, if I could actually speak, it would be really good. Her coach, now former coach, God, what's his name again? Tom Hill, that was it. Sakari and her coach Tom Hill have now split ways. They've been together for a long period of time, both of them. I think it was 6 years or something like that. So it's been but they've recently parted ways. I mean, because I think Sakari's really sort of stagnated at the sort of like, she's managed to get to the top 10, yes, but sort of stagnated in that, not really making progress at Grand Slam still. Yes, she won the Guadalajara W1000 event at the back end of last year, but yeah, a new voice in the box. And John has just said that Talking Tennis, John might be interviewing Cameron Norrie and Magnus Neumann, as well as speaking to Carlos Alcaraz in the coming days. If you want to ask them any questions to become a member, click join. Yes, please do. If you become a member, if you wish to maybe have a question fielded to Cameron Norrie. As Elena Rybakina, easy hold there, 2-love to make it 3-2. She's just getting the business sorted on her end of the court and hoping to make some inroads into getting a break sorted on Fernandez's side. Big up, James. Thanks for that, Cedric. Thanks for the big up. A Ghost would want to be Jessica Bagula's coach. Okay. Whatever you want to do, Ghost. Yeah, because she broke up from her coach. There's been a lot of coach breakups at the moment. They've obviously gone to Australia, tried bits there, haven't worked out, and decided, I know what, let's just pack it in for a bit. On that bit there. Oh, and Cedric is ain't done, so I guess you've become a member. Excellent. I have to agree with what Jonathan said there about the way the Netflix series portrayed their relationship didn't look great. It made him look clueless, and it made certainly look a little bit too overly aggressive whenever she was taking advice of him, which isn't great. Especially as you want to be able to trust your coach and then be a coach to have that, to have respectful comments made with each other. It did just make him look completely clueless, which I don't think Tom Hill would want to be looked to be made completely clueless. Back out, Rybakina. And Leylah hits the forehand into the net to give Rybakina a love 15 lead. Rybakina goes up to forehand by Fernandez, forehand by Leylah, backhand by Fernandez there, forehand by Rybakina, backhand by Leylah. Oh, and a terrible attempt to pick up that drop shot by Rybakina, 15-all. See, I've done that backhand there. So it is currently 30-15 to Rybakina. So going up there, backhand by Rybakina, forehand by Fernandez, down the line. Oh, that's a big missed opportunity for Rybakina there. Just as she got that backhand down the line, it would have been a winner, but she bangs it into the net instead. So that is 30-all at the moment. Hits the net there from Fernandez. Forehand by Rybakina, goes cross court. Brilliant redirection there from Fernandez. Takes it from one side of the court to another. Fernandez goes cross court, backhand by Leylah, up the line by Fernandez. Absolutely batted away there by Rybakina to take it to Deuce. So at Deuce at the moment. Leylah tries to go cross court, no luck, hits the net. The line, backhand by Rybakina. Oh, wild forehand out wide by Fernandez. That brings up a break point for Rybakina. Brings up a break point. Looking to get to 4-2 here. Will she be able to capitalize on this break point chance? Goes at the line. Oh, up in the air. Backhand by Fernandez. Thing by Rybakina. Backhand by Rybakina. Forehand by Fernandez. Forehand by Rybakina. Comes to the net with Leylah. And then swats it away. It was just too short a return there, Rybakina. Fernandez able to get to the net and able to put that forehand away. Go saying that Rybakina is kind of wearing the Aussie colours. She is a bit there, isn't she, with the orange, the yellow and the sort of greeny-ish sort of colour. Let's see, backhand by Rybakina there. So Deuce again, just let you know that. And it's a double fault by Leylah Fernandez. So that means it is another breakpoint chance. Will Rybakina finally take one of these breakpoint chances? Backhand by Rybakina, forehand by Leylah. Oh, and just perfectly located. Rybakina unable to get to it. I think if I were Rybakina, I'd be pretty frustrated at the moment with the amount of chances she hasn't been taking. Up the tee, backhand by Leylah, backhand by Fernandez, forehand by Rybakina. Oh, and a wild backhand by Fernandez gives Rybakina a third break point. Wow, it's continuing along here. Bangs into the net, so we move on to a second serve. Goes cross court, backhand by Fernandez, backhand by Leylah, cross court by Rybakina, backhand by Fernandez. And what should have been a backhand drive volley or a backhand drive winner easily. Fernandez sticks in the net, and Elena Rybakina has the break. She finally has the break. Given the amount of chances, I think that's a 6th or 7th chance of being able to get a break there. And now leads 4-2. So it's 2 games away from booking her place into the semi-final in Doha. Really, one of the most you could probably suggest one of the most informed players on the tour at the moment is continuing that form. She has battened down the hatches when need be, and is now looking decent. You wouldn't bet against her. I think we've got Ash in the chat who kind of would want Fernandez to be the one winning this one here. As she says, this match pains her Canadian soul. If you have any sort of things to any sort of links to Canada, you'll be very pained by by the way this match is turning out at the moment. As Rybakina is just locked in, 30 love already, 2 very good first serves. She is not hanging about. I know we're coming up to just 7 o'clock Qatar time. Maybe she's got a dinner reservation booked in for around about 8 or 9 o'clock and just wants to get it all done. Get herself ready and prepared for the match tomorrow against Pavlyuchenkova, another big hitter. Up the line there by Fernandez, 40 love. This is dominant stuff. Goes down the tee, and an excellent ace there. Like we say, just boom, boom, boom. 5-2 up. So Rybakina now just 1 game away, from a place in the semi-final. What we're saying in the chat, which is the next thing. Anyway, at least Milos is putting in a smile on Canadian faces. He certainly is. Matthew, a surprise quarterfinal run. I must admit, I didn't expect him to get to the quarters of in Rotterdam, which is pretty good for him. And Ghosty saying, you all think Rybak can repeat Indian Wells? Well, when was the last time that that happened? Serena boycotted the event for years. I know that I don't think has been much of a repeat winner of the event, but I don't know what Serena's boycotting has to do with it. If she plays like this, she can, says Terry. I agree. Rybakina is showing an excellent bit of form. Already has 2 500 titles already this season, and we're only midway through February, and she's already got 2 500 titles, and she has also got her eyes and she's got herself locked in and looking at the Doha title. She wants that eagle on her mantelpiece. Goes at the feet, backhand by both players. Nice backhand by Rybakina. Takes away the ball completely from Fernandez on that point there. Oh, so you're saying it meant Serena would have been the obvious candidate? It certainly could have been, yeah. Talking saying still put Iga and Ryan slightly ahead at Rybakina, India and Wales, but if she beats Iga here in the final, then things can change. I mean, my personal opinion is that any type of hard court, Rybakina is certainly the favourite over Iga, in my opinion, just given what happened at the back end of last year, or the beginning of last year, sorry. And I think it's 50-50 with Sabalenka. That's how I look at it. If it was a clay court, I would favour Iga over Rybakina, as Fernandez is putting in a good display here just to try and hold serve. I would put Rybakina above Iga on any hard court. I would put 50-50. I would put Iga above Rybakina on a clay court, and then Rybakina above Iga certainly on a grass court. But then 50-50. It's always 50-50. Then, in my opinion, between Rybakina and Sabalenka on any of the surfaces. Backhand by Rybakina, just long there. 30 all at the moment. Rybakina just wants to get this done now. She's now got the bit between her teeth. Certainly has the bit between her teeth. By the way, Greek Sport is a break up against her catch. 3-2 with the break. Could be looking at seeing one of the top four seeds going out in Rotterdam as well. Backhand wide by Fernandez. It is a match point on the Fernandez serve for Elena Rybakina. So 30-40 to Rybakina on Fernandez's serve. Can she get it done on her opponent's serve? There's a line. Forehand across court. Slice attempts, but up the line by Rybakina. Lob by Fernandez. Just about lands. Got a bit of a rally still continuing between the forehands and the backhand into the net by Fernandez gives Elena Rybakina the victory in Doha. She will be moving on and to the semi-finals where she will be playing Pavlyuchenkova for a spot in the final on Saturday. The score in the end was 6-4, 6-2. Probably a little bit more. It looks a little bit more one-sided than what the match probably suggested. It was certainly a lot closer than that, especially in that first set when Fernandez was 4-1 up. But ever since 4-1 on that first set, it has been a one-way machine, effectively. The next 13 games that were played, 11 of them were won by Rybakina. Looking in superior form, continuing in Doha, she's capping off her opponent off the court. You would be very hard pressed to say that you would not expect her to be in the final on Saturday. Who she would play would be up to the gods on that bit there. Ghost, thanks, James. Good stuff as always. Thanks for that, Ghost. Hopefully you've enjoyed the commentary. As we got just a post popping up here from Sarungelo. I can't read Spanish, but I guess it's all about saying that onwards and upwards. And Holger saying keep pushing. The times will change. You're a brilliant player. That is lovely to see. Thank you, Ashley. Thanks for the call, James. Have a good day, everyone. Everyone have a good day. We'll call it a bit there. Next matchup. It is, of course, your Doha Nutty. You have Iga Swiatek against Victoria Azarenka, followed by Osaka Pliskova. So some great matches kicking off there. I'm going to go off and I'm going to try and see the back end of this Rotterdam match. As Hurkacz is love 40 up on Greg Sport serves, so they may be going back to juice there. But keep abreast of everything that's happening on Talking Tennis. Like I said, we have Alcaraz later on today. Please do tune in for that, as you see how Charlie looks as he comes back from a slightly disappointing run in Australia. All he has to say is see you later on. See you.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to, well, you haven't got any choice, actually. I'm just talking at you, if you like. But I'm here also to present to you why I think it's not a bad idea and not that expensive as well if you become a member. And this is how you can do it, and this is what you can gain. So if we look here at the Talking Tennis sort of home page, if you like, on YouTube, we can see this little button here which says join. It is also pinned in the live chat as well, and you can also, I think, see it just below most of our videos, certainly the live ones and so on. Now, why is it a good idea to join and become a member? Well, in the live chat, you can add little funny things, you can add emojis and all sorts of things, but possibly more importantly, you can get to access some live videos, such as this one here, where we look back on the last sort of few moments from the Billie Jean King Cup. So there are little bonuses such as this one, but there are many, many more. And in fact, if we have a quick look at all of the members only stuff, I repeat, you will see very, very quickly some of the top stuff that we've had for members only over the last 12 months since the channel began. Remember, these videos are for members only. You can become a member from as little as about $2 a month, €2 a month, £2 a month, something like that. There are various different things. Oh, and by the way, you'll also be supporting the channel. So it's a win-win-win-win scenario. Let me just show you some of the members only stuff. For example, we've got an exclusive little clip there talking to Laura Siegmund, Laura Tsurenko, her encore interview, some doubles footage there from Monastir, the Germany press conference pre-tournament Billie Jean King Cup, Claire Burrell talking as well to the media in her press conference in Monastir, Storm Hunter and Alicia Parks interview, Rebecca Masarova, her press conference, Coco Gauff exclusive for members only, albeit it was in Madrid. But these are just some of the things, some of the interviews and etc. Like Lestien here, a chat with him, Emma Navarro, and so on and so forth. So many little bonus videos available for just €2 a month. So what are you waiting for? Become a member. Or don't. It's okay.
Ready. Play.
Good afternoon from Malaga and good morning from somewhere central in the US, right, Craig?
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas is the capital, right?
It is the capital of Texas, exactly.
Lance Armstrong, is that his?
This is Lance's country. He spent a lot of time. It's a lot of undulating terrain, a lot of hills. Great for biking. Biking is everywhere here.
Are you a biker?
My wife is. No, I was out on my bike this morning on my mountain bike, running my dogs on the trail behind my house. So that's about the extent of my biking.
Craig, you're certainly an early riser, and I noticed it from your picks at Wimbledon this year as you were enjoying the early opportunities to taste and savor centre court. But we're not here to talk about Wimbledon. That's for the European summer. We're in the midst of European winter, although fortunately here in Malaga it's still pretty sunny. So let's get to Turin. You were there, right?
Yes, I was. Yeah, for the almost the entire time. I came back Saturday and then did a report for the ATP on Sunday here from Austin.
Got it. Okay. Let's begin with the final. I think we have to. The first question I have for you regarding the final is sort of where was it won and lost, especially thinking about the round robin stage and some of the differences between those two matches?
Yeah, I was courtside, front row, right on the baseline for the round robin match between Novak and Yannick. And when Novak gets a little passive, when he's not quite, dictating out there on the court, he hits too many backhands. That's the MO. He always has. When I worked with him 2017 to 2019, I was always cognizant of the backhand to forehand ratio. When he's humming, he's looking for that runaround forehand. The runaround forehand has three benefits. It's upgrade, double, and freeze. The upgrade is I'm putting the forehand and the backhand as the sword and the shield. So when the ball is hit to his backhand, instead of him using his shield, he puts the shield down and picks the sword up. from the back of the court, it's about 75% winners from the forehand side. So certainly when he hits the runaround forehand, which accounts for the majority, the runaround forehand for Novak in the ad court has more forehand winners than forehands in the deuce court. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal to hit the runaround forehand. Secondly, you can double the target area. You can go inside in, inside out, much easier than with the backhand. The backhand sometimes is even inside out going down the line. And lastly is that you freeze the opponent so that when you do the runaround forehand, they can't tell from your positioning where it's going. So upgrade double freeze really makes the runaround forehand very, very potent. And when Novak's not hunting that and he's settling for backhand, sometimes when he gets nervous, he knows the backhand's going to go in. He doesn't mind hitting backhands, but it's not really hurting opponents. He got away with it in Paris. In the final, he had a lot of backhands. But in this match, Sinner was crushing backhands. He was just roping them to, corner to corner through the ad court. And it was to Sinner's benefit. And Novak, didn't really pick that up. He was cruising till 5-all in the first set, 5-all 40 love. And he loses that game. He got tight. He served a double faulted deuce. Sinner was crushing balls. He hit Novak served and volleyed at 40 love. Probably shouldn't have because it gave Sinner a target. Sinner hit a backhand winner that went right through the line. And from then on, Novak immediately got into it with the crowd. The arms are going up. And he got distracted. And he didn't see the game plan as clearly as he needed to. And Sinner was just dominating ad court exchanges. Sinner was the one wearing the pants from the baseline. And because Novak was distracted, he didn't pick up on all of this. So for the rest of the match, he was, even though it's 7-6 in the third, it was one of those matches where it was just a matter of time. Jannik was always had the better strategy. Novak was having to dip into higher risk patterns of play. And, Jannik won. But in the final, he adjusted. I don't know whether he read my analysis. It kind of looks like the carbon copy of what he should do if he had read it. But he came out firing. He came out looking for forehands. He came out dictating with his forehands. He said he changed strategy. So we're going to assume he did. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you make that adjustment? So he played much better and much more strategically in his favor in the final. Sorry, John, I can't hear you right now.
I put myself on mute, Craig, and forgot to take it off.
Yeah, well, that happens to the best of us.
Maybe that happened to Novak in his first encounter, and it didn't happen to him in the final with Sinner. What I was really interested in, it's great that we've got you on right now, because actually strategy was something that was mentioned quite a bit by both players in a way. That Jannik said he expected a different Novak in the final and a different strategy. Novak talked about some of the things that happened to him in his press conference, I think, in the first match when he said he was maybe a bit too passive in the big moments and the big points, and that wouldn't happen again. And of course, they did end up playing in the final. So I thought that sort of conversation, I think I remember Jannik saying something like, I know he's got a plan, or I know he's going to be different in the final. And I thought that element was particularly intriguing, but particularly how the final went. If we got the same result, then we could have maybe thrown changes of plans and strategies out the window. But because we got a wildly different result, I thought that was particularly intriguing. What about Sinner? What could and should he have done maybe different in the final?
Yeah, and just before I answer that, going back to what you said, the other layer of that is it's a monumental achievement to beat Novak at any stage, especially in a year like this where he's dominating so much. I think he only lost 6 matches for the entire year. But to beat him once, congratulations, that's awesome. To beat him twice in a row, almost impossible. Almost impossible. So the fact that Jannik had won the first encounter, I think just in general, from a belief standpoint, from now Novak's got a lot more motivation. He's got revenge on his side. He's got the final. He's got his legacy. He's got adding to his career. I think he's up to 98 or 99 tournament victories now. To beat Novak twice in a row is literally almost impossible. So Jannik had that against him. Jannik tapped out early and panicked too early in the point in the final. And I would give Novak a lot of credit for that, because Novak came out pummeling forehands. His average forehand speed was much higher than Jannik's. I don't remember exactly, but it was significantly higher. And so now Jannik's playing a little bit more off the back foot. Jannik's forehand historically is the side that can get loose. His backswing is quick. His backswing is quite big. He goes after it. He doesn't have a great defensive forehand. When he gets pushed into that corner, position A, out wide in the juice court, that's historically where he starts spraying forehands. He is improving in that area. It did get better, but he wasn't tested in that area in the round robin stage because there was just so many backhand exchanges. But in the final, Novak made sure that he brought extra speed to that corner and extra pressure to that corner. And early on, I wrote about, I think, Novak hit, his first 11 forehands. I think he extracted 4, 5, maybe even 6 errors from Jannik's side of the court. And right from the start, Novak going up 3-1, it just had a completely different feel than the semifinal. And you just tell on Jannik's face, he wears, even though he's by far the strongest mentally / emotionally of the entire group, out of the 8 players, he doesn't get as upset, he doesn't get as mad, he doesn't get as frustrated, he doesn't slam his knee 8 times in a row like Rublev's doing out there. He does. He keeps the toys in the pram and goes about his business. But you can just tell on his face early on is like, this is a different deal. This is going to be much tougher. And Novak was coming at him, and that's why he couldn't dictate nearly as much as he did in the round robin, because it was much more of a forehand dominated match rather than backhand.
Do you think with Jannik in that final that there was any difference as well in terms of expectation, in terms of the pressure that would obviously building throughout the week with every match that he was winning so incredibly? I think his backhand was on fire in the semi-final against Medvedev, but also Italy was getting a bit of tennis fever, I think, and the Carota boys and the emotion within the stadium. And do you think that may have played any particular role, particularly as Jannik took a set and a half to settle to some extent? I mean, maybe we're taking away a bit from Novak in terms of his incredible performance, but just looking at Sinner, was he, pulling the trigger too quickly is something you touched on, panicking a bit too early in rallies? Was that a mental thing, do you think, at all?
Yeah, we didn't see this problem up until the final. So it was a Davis Cup style crowd in there. The Italians have finally got someone that they can get behind. Certainly there was Berrettini for a while, but not at the ATP finals. He played a set and rolled his ankle, and Matteo's been missing at this event. So to have Jannik there, the Italians just went ape droppings. It was unbelievable, the amount of energy in that stadium, and that's a good thing. That's a great thing for our sport. And it didn't bother Novak until he got down, until he was, behind. Then he, he's a little negative and he's a little pissed off, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go engage this crowd because I need to let out some of this energy. I need to, kind of press the pressure meter, and sometimes he screams at his box, which happened less in this event. There's still a little bit, but happened less. But boy, was he was so locked on, so positive, so ready to go, and things were very clear in his mind. So I think from the final, we go back to the 3 round robin matches in the semi-final. Jannik was in superb form. He played extremely well, and we just didn't see him kind of shocked and bullied around the court like we did in the final. So I think I don't think it was the crowd, because Jannik had that for 4 matches. I think the crowd helped him. I think he handled that well. I just think it was Novak finding the right game plan. Thank you, Craig. and going and executing it and ripping forehands and taking it to him instead of hoping the opponent was going to give it to him.
Fair enough. Let's have a quick look at one or two other players that did take part, at least, albeit that they got taken apart, or on one of these occasions got taken apart by Novak, and that's Carlos. Where does Carlos need to improve in these conditions, in particular, indoors in Turin, to take the next step?
Yeah, I watched his first match, and he looked very, I say very average. For the number 2 player in the world, for how amazing he is, he set the bar so high, and the problem for Carlos wasn't this event; it was the lead up to this event. It was fractured. There was problems with injury. There was problems with plantar fasciitis. I just had it for a year in my right foot. I couldn't shake it for a year.
Yeah,
it's a horrible thing because it hurts like crazy. It hurts your movement. He also had a lower back problem. So at least, we know of those two things. There's probably 2 or 3 other niggles that he had. So his preparation wasn't good. And I would put down his not making the final. I mean, he's still, even though after that first loss, he still made it out, but he's just not quite there at the moment. The forehands spraying too much. The forehand's too big. He needs, because he's off a little bit, he needs to defend a little bit more, and stay in the point and get his reps and make the opponent change direction under duress rather than him changing direction. So, I think Carlos did about as good as he possibly could with the lead-in that was just not ideal for him.
What about Daniil Medvedev? Where does he go from here? I mean, actually, this time a year ago, the future and the immediate future looked pretty bleak for Daniil, having had the sort of post-Australia hangover, if you like, that carried on throughout the year. And in fact, we had a resurgence in February of this year. And actually, I guess, outside of the slams, and you could even say with the slams, if you think about Wimbledon and the US Open, but he's actually had a good year in a way. So what about next year? I mean, the problem is that I think you may well agree that Rune should improve, especially physically. Carlos won't be absent for that long, I don't think. Novak's not going anywhere anytime soon. And there's one of Jannik Sinner, I mean, is now arguably a Grand Slam contender. Where does that leave Daniil Medvedev in the pie, if you like?
Well, you've certainly added Sinner to the mix. Sinner is now elevated to a level that he hasn't before. He is definitely a Grand Slam contender. He had match point on Alcaraz when Alcaraz won the US Open. He could have won it that year. He's been sniffing right around for a while, and now he's finally broken through. That win against Novak, that's going to buoy his confidence for the next 12 months. He's going to live off that for the next 12 months, feed off that. So for Medvedev, he's doing nothing wrong. His game is good. I'd like to see him next year not be as emotional under pressure. I'd like to see him a little bit more like Sinner. Sinner keeps it together better than all those guys. Medvedev can engage in the crowd and in quite a negative way, and he just needs to stick to tennis. Stick to tennis. Stick to hitting the ball. Stick to taking titles. Stick to keeping your head in the game and winning these big matches. So I'd like to see him less emotional, and I think just that will create the clarity under pressure in these big matches to find those 2 or 3 or 4 points that he needs to turn a loss into a victory. So he's in a good place. He's an excellent player. I'd like for him to go to the net a little bit more, not only when he has to, but, he dominates so well from the back of the court, but hunt the short ball, hit that deep ball, get the short ball back, and don't be content to go another 3 or 4 balls. Become a little bit more of an all-court player and pressure at the net where the win percentage is always so much better. And he'll be in a good place. So I think he's going to be, certainly one of the top 4 players next year on tour.
Okay, I've got one more for you, Craig, and it's this Boris Becker-Holger Rune partnership. But you could also tell me about, Holger and 2024 and maybe where he could go and where maybe he needs to improve.
Yeah, I think Boris is a great addition to his team. You've got Holger, who's a young player, somewhat of an impulsive player, unbelievably good at coming forward. This is who Medvedev should look at and just go and look at Holger Rune playing, because anything a little bit short, Holger's all over the net. So, Boris brings credibility to win big titles. When you've got a coach, this great picture you've got there, when you're looking in your coach's eyes and your coach has been number one, your coach has won multiple Grand Slams, has been an icon of our sport from a young age, I think it's a great mix. And, Boris is coming out of personal troubles, and for him to be, readily accepted by the rest of the tennis community and tennis fraternity straight back on tour. Boris was so engaging at in Turin. I was in the front row. He was about 15 seats down to my right, and he was standing constantly. To start with, I thought, well, his leg's sore. He needs to stand because, his knee's bad. But, he brought so much energy to Holger and so much positive energy, but also strength as well. So I think that is a really good connection. I think Holger will benefit from that for sure. And I think Holger Rune has an excellent year next year, a really good year. He's got such a good all-court game, probably the best all-court game since Federer retired. So his ability to jump on a short ball, his ability to attack, his ability to serve and volley, his ability to come forward with a forehand down the line when standing with 2 feet behind the baseline is probably the gold standard right now. And he just needs, the forehand can get a bit impulsive. He can spray a bit with that. He can get too antsy when things aren't going his way. You can see the nerves go up a little bit. He just needs to stay calm. He needs to chill. He needs to breathe. He needs to take his time. There's nothing that there's no problem that he needs to solve. He just needs to not beat himself. And those are the messages that he needs to really take on board for next year. And, he, at some stage next year, he could be number 2 in the world, challenging Novak for number 1.
Craig, huge thanks for coming on and squeezing us into your busy schedule, and enjoy the rest of the year, and catch up with you sometime in 2024. Enjoy
Davis Cup.
I will.
Forza Italia.
Yeah. Oh, you're backing the Italians, are you? By the way,
I've been working with them for 8 years, and I'll be assisting in Davis Cup. So let's hope they finish strong.
Makes sense. So make sure you check out Craig's Brain Game, and also check him out on Twitter as well, and all the socials. Big thanks, Craig, and we'll catch up with you next year.
Pleasure. See you, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon from Malaga, and good morning from somewhere central in the US, right, Craig?
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas is the capital, right?
It is the capital of Texas, exactly.
Lance Armstrong, is that his?
This is Lance's country. He spent a lot of time. It's a lot of undulating terrain, a lot of hills, great for biking. Biking is everywhere here.
Are you a biker?
My wife is. No, I was out on my bike this morning on my mountain bike, running my dogs on the trail behind my house. So that's about the extent of my biking.
Craig, you're certainly an early riser, and I noticed it from your picks at Wimbledon this year, as you were enjoying the early opportunities to taste and savor centre court. But we're not here to talk about Wimbledon. That's for the European summer. We're in the midst of European winter, although fortunately here in Malaga it's still pretty sunny. So let's get to Turin. You were there, right?
Yes, I was. Yeah, for the almost the entire time. I I came back Saturday and then did a report for the ATP on Sunday here from Austin.
Got it. Okay. Let's begin with the final. I think we have to.